Steadfastly continue, he says. Don't give up. Be persistent. In 1950, there was a long-distance swimmer. Okay, her name was Florence Chadwick, and in 1950, she swam through the English Canal for 13 hours and 20 minutes. Imagine swimming in the English Canal. Okay, Pasig River pa lang, I already just drowned. Okay, but in 1952, all right, after successfully swimming through the English Channel, she tried the Catalina Channel from Catalina Island to the coastline of California. And this was a distance of about 26 miles. Okay? Imagine 26 miles, not kilometers, okay? Miles. And so when she was swimming in icy cold water, then the fog started to settle in. And so now she could no longer see from what's up ahead. And after 15 hours of swimming and feeling like she was twirling and just going around in circles, she finally had to say, I don't know if I can finish this. I gave up. I give up. So she did. She got on the boat. After getting on the boat, not realizing she was just about a mile away from the coastline. And she was interviewed and asked the question, why did you give up? And you know what she said? Look, it's not like I'm excusing myself, but if I could have seen the land, and I know I could have made it, I wouldn't have given up. But 2 months later, she tries it again. And in icy cold water with the fog there, okay, she actually goes, but this time no longer 15 hours, now 13 hours, and she actually makes it through and gets through the coastline of California. And this time during the interview, she was asked, and she said this, she said, she kept a mental image of the shoreline in her mind. Even though there was a thick fog, even though the water was so icy cold, she just kept an image of the shoreline in her mind, kept her eyes on it, and she said, it's going to be there, it's going to be there. Sure enough, after some time, it was there. Didn't give up. Kept going. See, this was what Paul was saying. We may not see what's up ahead, but we know it's there. Jesus is our finish line. We will see the end at sooner or later. Verse 2, it says, being watchful. Now, imagine this for a moment, because Paul wrote this in prison. This is one of his prison epistles. And Colossae, he was writing to, he's never been to that place. And so he writes this in prison, and he probably was watching the prison guards. He said, be watchful. And this was so real for him at that moment. Be watchful. In other words, what he was saying in the original language, in the Greek, it would say, stay awake. Stay awake, because there is a devil out there. 1 Peter, the Bible says, that is like a lion prowling, seeking whom he may devour. Stay awake. Kind of like that guard that he's probably watching. Stay awake. Something might happen. And then he says after that, with thanksgiving, be consistently and continue in prayer with thanksgiving. And in a time of difficulty, guess what? Paul says, be thankful. Did you know the best antidote to a grumbling heart is a grateful heart? Because if you can think of 100 things that are wrong, then you can think of 1,000 things that are wrong. There's always certain things that you can think about. My wife is like this, my husband's like this. My children are like this, my nation's like that. My office is like this, my job's like this. There's a lot of things you can list down, but you know what? Paul says, try to do this. List down the things that you're thankful to God for. It's a good exercise. It really is. So I'm glad Pastor Joseph did what he did earlier than the 5 minutes before it. List down things that you're thankful to God for. Because when we do, it brings us into the zone wherein we're just grateful. And it brings you into a posture of non-entitlement.